right here, and we are going to talk about that. And Fred Oloz, first of all, before we get into the Impala floodlit tournament, what do you think of the Varsity League?
I think it's a good league for the universities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, university ball is always very competitive.
Yes.
So I think it's definitely a good option. Mm-hmm. But what I can see there that has happened is that there's sort of two tiers of competition. And so you have the Black Bloods and Mean Machines and so on and so forth that are above Catholic University, the rest of the teams. So, yeah, but we also have our own varsity league, so we'll see how that pans out.
Yes, we'll see how that pans out. Now, Bill, 2018 edition of the Impala floodlit tournament. You know, it's a tournament that has been going on for almost 37 years.
Yes.
You know, what should we expect this year?
We should expect a lot of good rugby. Mm-hmm. When we talk about floodlit, we talk about the first 15 tournaments or first 15 games of the year, mm-hmm. of the rugby calendar.
Yes.
Now, what we do is we always take it to be the pre-season tournament. It's like a forced friendly. Really, yes. They're forced friendlies, yes. With something.
With a cup.
With a cup.
Yes.
So it becomes more serious. You know, when you've been training off season, you've come pre-season, you've trained, then you expect to get friendlies before you start the league proper.
Yes.
Now, this forces people to come together and play serious games. Mm-hmm. Meaning that they're going to gauge their teams fully at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm. Fred, what is different from in this year's edition when you take a look back at the other years? What is different from the 2018 edition?
No, first of all, we'll have the schools coming back. Mm-hmm. That's already one big addition to the tournament. But from what I'm seeing, the teams have decided to take this very seriously. Mm-hmm. In fact, one of the things that we are planning to do ourselves is in the coming years, meet KRU and tell them, look, let's focus a bit more on this tournament. Let's improve our pre-season conditioning and so on and so forth, and to enable us take the game one notch up. So what I have seen is teams looking very serious about this pre-season tournament, yes. And definitely with an eye to bring out better performance in the long Kenya Cup that is coming up.
Mm-hmm. So we want to take a quick look at the draw that was done on 5th. We want to take a look at the Impala floodlit tournament draw that was done on 5th. We want to take a look at which team will be facing which team. And remember, the hosts who are Impala will be taking on Kenya Harlequin. It's going to be an heated affair, right, Bill?
Completely. It's a derby. You know, derby from the beginning to the end. The guys we share a fence are the guys we hate the most, yes. Rugby-wise. We're good friends out here, but when it comes to rugby, we are very competitive, and that will be a fantastic game to watch.
Mm-hmm. So the defending champions, KCB, will be taking on Mwamba. Then the hosts, Impala Saracens, will be taking on Kenya Harlequins, which is a derby. Homeboys will be taking on Nakuru RFC. Then Strathmore Leos will be taking on Nondis. Last year, Nondis did not take part in the competition. This year, they're coming back. Yes. And then we take a look at the schools. Fred talked about the schools that we're having. We have Muhure Mushiri, then we have Mangu High, then Lenana will be taking on Ofafa Jericho. Alliance will be out against Sunshine Secondary School. Now, these two teams, of course, they're already in the semi-finals, and this is something that I want us to talk about, Fred. Muhure Mushiri in the semi-finals, Mangu in the semi-finals, you know, and then we have the two other teams that will be battling it in the quarter-finals. Is it that we do not have teams that could battle these two teams?
Now, remember that this tournament is returning. It's making a return to the competition. Mm-hmm. So one of the things is that, you know, third term, the negotiations have to happen a lot earlier than we did this time. But nevertheless, it is a cut and razor event. Mm-hmm. We are giving clubs an opportunity to look at the teams that are, the players that are upcoming. Mm-hmm. So we'll live with the fact that Muhure Mushiri and Mangu will go straight to the semis. To the semis. But I'm sure next year that won't be the case, because previously what has happened is that we have had to hold back teams from coming to the tournament. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bill, are you looking at a situation where probably in the future, in the schools, category, you'll be going outside Nairobi?
It is a possibility that we're looking at. It is something that will definitely work on, because ideally it's something that we want to grow the game. At the beginning, even the club category, we never used to have teams from the outside. Now we do have teams from the outside. Same thing with the Varsity League, with the Varsity
Varsity League that we are having.
Yes.
So as you talk about that, of course, we have the university category that you have on the Impala floodlit tournament, where we have Catholic Monks taking on Technical University of Kenya. Daystar will be taking on USIU. Strathmore will be taking on Mean Machine, and Black Blood will be taking on Swaras. This is the category for universities that we have.
Yes.
So you are thinking of going out for the schools category?
Yes.
Outside Nairobi?
Outside Nairobi?
Yes.
Already we're outside Nairobi. Look at Alliance, it's outside Nairobi. At Mangu, it's also outside Nairobi. The Kakamega high schools, you know, the other doyens, especially from the Western, is something that we're looking at. And if we can get them, the better for the
Fred, now, is there a conflict of interest? Catholic University will be taking, actually, a number of these universities will be taking part in the Varsity League on Saturday. And also, you are having the same tournament on that day. So is there a conflict of interest when you talk about the Varsity League, which will be going on that day, and also you have the floodlit tournament on the same day?
No, there's no conflict of interest. You know, the thing is that the game has grown to such a large extent. These universities have thousands and thousands of players.
Yes.
So I don't think it will be a matter of conflict of interest. It's just many players playing in different tournaments. So it is a question of a bigger pool and a bigger opportunity for the universities to play. I mean, if there was another tournament, I'm sure they would be able to field players.
Three different teams.
3 different teams playing. So, I mean, let's play rugby.
Bill, let's talk about the growth of the Impala floodlit tournament. You know, what can you say about how the tournament has grown over the years?
Oh my, it's been phenomenal. The growth has been phenomenal. In 1983, we didn't have sponsors. We didn't have so many teams participating. If you look at it, we've now moved right from school, varsity to club level. We only had clubs at the beginning of the floodlit. Also, if you look at growth, we also talk about sponsorship. The growth in sponsorship terms now has grown from the beginning. We started by getting sponsors worth 30,000. Now Blaze by Safaricom have come in with 1.8 million. So, I mean, the growth is obvious.
The growth is obvious. And Fred, I want us to go back to this, take a look at the teams with the most floodlit title. Mean Machine have 9, KCB have 7, Impala, the host have, KB have 6, Impala have 7, Barclays have 4. We have Mwamba who have 3. We also have Harlequins who have 3, Nondis have 3, and then Strathmore who have 1. Now, for the past 8 years, KCB have dominated the floodies. And for most of that part, the finals, we've seen KCB take on Impala. We've seen, this has been, you know, it's like, it's almost to script. KCB Impala will be in the final. You know, are you, you know, as the host, do you think, or rather, do you see this again happening this year?
No, first, let's say that, I mean, the form of KCB in the 15th game has been dominant through the time that you have been speaking. So I think that it's reflective of how they prepare in the preseason, and it carries on through the season. Impala, obviously, and if you look at the general trend of, I mean, teams that are hosting tournaments, they tend to be very, you know, driven to win their own tournament. So there is that bit. But you must then put this into proper context.
Yes.
I mean, it's a knockout tournament. And this time, all the teams are coming guns blazing. So I don't think you can say that it's granted that Impala, first of all, have to get past Kenya Harlequins, which is is strongly on form, and they are keen to improve their 15th fortunes. So we cannot tell what will happen. All I can assure you is that Impala will be preparing very, very hard to ensure that we can get to the final and possibly win it.
Bill, it has always been an heated affair when KCB plays Impala in the floodies, and also when the two sides meet in Kenya Cup. So, you know, when you talk in terms of competition, and when you take a look at the draw that we have for the floodlit tournament, you know, what kind of competition are you expecting?
Well, the floodlight this year is actually very interesting. KCB first take on Mwamba. Mwamba have always been also a perennial problem for KCB.
Yes.
Okay, then you look at Homeboys playing Nakuru. It's also another derby on its own.
It's
they call it the Menengai derby.
Yes.
Then you look at Strathmore and Nondis. I mean, the games are so evenly set. It's just exciting to be there on that particular first day. When we talk about KCB and Impala, I mean, we've always had a rivalry. In fact, a lot of Impala guys don't believe that KCB are that good. I'll be straightforward with you.
Why?
We just don't think they're that good.
Yes.
So we like taking them on completely. You know, I think the team that takes KCB on head-on is Impala. Of late, obviously, the Homeboys have come up. And as you said, maybe you're talking about KCB, Impala. This time could be Homeboys, Nondis in the final. You never know.
You never know.
Exactly.
Of course. And something else that we want to take a look at is... do we have a prize money this time around, and how much is it, Bill?
The prize money this year is 200,000 shillings.
200,000 Kenya shillings for the winners.
For the winners, yes.
And now, I'll want to focus on emerging stars. This tournament, we've always seen stars come up. I remember in 2016 we had Quinton.
Yes.
Quinton was the MVP, and it was the first time that he was brought into the main team.
Yes, that's true.
For Impala. Yes. So are you looking forward to seeing, more young guys?
Totally so. Yeah. There's nothing we enjoy watching more than, the rising stars coming through. We've seen a number of players in the 7th circuit. We are hoping that they can, mix it to the 15th game, which is the real game of rugby anyway. So floodlit always gives teams an opportunity to introduce players into the fraternity. And we are definitely hoping that there'll be new people coming out. Remember too that young people like this tournament very much, so it will be an issue of them also trying to shine for their stars. I mean, for their friends that are at the stands.
So, Bill, I want to bring you into again this draw that we have here. One person probably will be looking at it and he will realize that there's one big team missing, Cabras. And probably people that are watching right now will want to know how the draw is done and probably why you have most of the top 8 teams here and only one is missing.
Actually, the Impala Floodlit tournament is an invite for the top 8 teams of the previous Kenya Cup League.
Yes.
Now, Cabras was actually invited for the tournament, and they said that their logistics have not been put into place as yet, so they'll give it a pass. So what we did is automatically invite the number 9th team, which was nondescript. So we have the top 8 teams, and I think it will be quite a challenge.
I think I can chime in there. I can chime in there. Talking to the people of Cabras, they are the team that travels really the most.
Because they're based in Western.
They're based in Western. So it's expensive to come to Nairobi. So I think for this one, they'll do a pass. But I'm sure that in the coming ones, there will be an opportunity for them to play in this tournament. Because it is our intention, like I told you earlier on, to ensure that if we can get 4 weekends, then we'll even start earlier. And we'll not only be asking for the top 8, we'll say, okay, anybody who's in Kenya Cup, bring your guys over, and let's see how that goes. So in that opportunity, probably Cabras will be interested. Well, we're very keen to have them to come over. But we also understand what the precarious situation they are in terms of, that whole planning and traveling and so on and so forth.
Let's talk about the atmosphere. There are people, probably watching right now, and they don't understand the atmosphere of the Floodlit tournament.
The atmosphere, I mean, the Floodlit is, right now the theme is Raga na Sherehe. So
why Raga na Sherehe?
I mean, there's rugby, intense rugby going on. But, rugby is also about friendships and camaraderie and fellowships and so on and so forth. So there'll be people who will be meeting for the first time in a long time. There'll be people who are fresh from school and having their first opportunity to go to a senior rugby tournament and stay late out. So there's every opportunity to combine both the rugby aspects and just the aspects of fun living.
So that is the atmosphere that people should expect when they come to the flood.
It will be under lights.
It will be rugby under lights, and it will be absolute fun.
Absolute fun.
A thing not to miss.
A thing not to miss.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that, Bill?
No, on top of that, I mean, there's also the aspect of the younger players who are coming into the teams. These younger players, the first time people are introduced to rugby proper or club rugby is through the floodlit. We keep talking about floodlit tournament being for the young guys. You see, when we have new signings in your team, you want to try them out in the floodlit tournament. If you have young players who you've brought through your academies or through your systems, you want to test them through the floodlit. So on top of just the raga na sherehe, there's also that those friends who want to watch this young guy come through the systems.
So as we wind up, do you expect, to see more young guys in this tournament being scouted probably by other teams? Fred?
No, definitely. Yes, we expect to see a number of exciting players. Whether we will scout them or not will be difficult to say because, as you can tell, the window closes at the end of this month. So it will, the space will be very little. But there's no question that we'll love to see how the young guys mix with the older people, because the older guys, the more experienced guys, when they're fit and they're in good condition, they also like to play. Because you want to see where you are at the start of the season. You don't want to wait for a big, KCB Cabras game to be playing your first match. No, you need to break into the season. So.
And Bill, as we wind up, the future of the floodlit tournament?
Oh, the future, I think, is very bright. Of course, I can't fail to mention our sponsors who've come through in a big way. Blaze, who's now doing the third year in a row. Of course, our associate sponsors, Resolution Insurance, Maisha Water, and USN. These guys, I mean, they'll just make our tournament bigger. They'll just, you see, Blaze joining us means that they're excited about that. Those youngsters who are coming into the game fresh, and those youngsters who are coming to watch those other youngsters play. So the future can only be brighter.
Final words, Fred?
Final words, yes, my favorite theme. We need to take pre-season work very, very seriously. As I've told you, we'll definitely be in negotiation with KRU to say, look, this is a big property that can help us think of preparing for Namibia beyond 2020, so that we are saying, okay, what is the status of the game right now? So at the start of the season, we already can tell that this is where we are and possibly where we can reach. So the future of the tournament is very bright, and we are hoping that we can use it as a property for the game, not just simply a property for Impala.
So your money is on Impala?
My money is definitely on Impala.
Always on Impala. Always on Impala.
Well, we'll have to wait and see who comes out as the winner of the Impala Floodlit tournament. Remember, it begins this coming weekend at the Impala grounds right here in Nairobi. Gentlemen, thank you for finding time to come and talk to us about the Impala Floodlit tournament. Fred Oloz and Bill Githinji. Right now, we want to take a quick commercial.